Hello everyone, John from As the Wood Turns in Charlotte, Michigan. I did a video the other day of a birdhouse ornament body and realized I didn't do the video for the top. So that's what this is. So as you can see here, I've pre-cut and mounted a blank that will be turned around. We'll use this for the birdhouse top. So we got to get it round. Checking it there to make sure we've got it there. Just about there. Now that we have it round, got to pull the tailstock back and need to measure the diameter of the birdhouse body that's going to be used here so we can mark the end so we can cut our recess into the end of the blank that the birdhouse body will sit into. I do this with a parting tool. It's best to ease up on it or sneak up on it to get a tight a fit as possible with just a little bit of play in case of any wood movement. Stopping it here to check it out to make sure everything is good. Touch it up just a little bit more because it was fairly tight, and I think we're about there. Now that we're there, I'd like to drill a hole down the center. I do take a little bit of material out from the interior of the roof because it lightens the piece up a little bit more. Makes it easier when you're hanging things and it won't be quite as heavy. Here I'm just using a hollowing chisel to take out some of that material using the hole that I just drilled. Do that because it makes it easier to actually remove material and not have to go right to the center of the piece. Now we have that, we have to reverse chuck this using the recess that I just turned. That will hold it pretty steady. Give it a spin there to make sure everything clears. Even though it's a fairly short piece, I do like to use the tailstock whenever possible. It just gives an added sense of security for this piece. Pieces flying off the lathe are not fun. Unfortunately, I know this from personal experience. So safety first. You can't see it, but I'm wearing a full headgear air filtration system called Air Shield Pro. It's a rechargeable unit, and it saves me from dust and flying objects as well. So I'm trying to decide here how I'm going to turn this. I decided it's just going to be a smooth taper up to the top, almost like a gnome's hat, and then we'll go from there. Removing material in stages here to get to a curve that I am pleased with. It takes a little bit of fine-tuning to get it to where you like it. Getting pretty close here. I'm liking it more and more as I go here. For anyone who's curious, the tool I'm using there is an Easy Wood rougher. You can put different carbide bits on it with different cutting radiuses, and it's a really universal tool, good to use. There, I just parted off the tip from the end of the top of the top because of the hole that the tailstock would have put in there. Don't want a big hole like that. We'll need a little one for when we assemble, but not a big one that tailstock will actually create. Looks like I pretty much got it fine-tuned to where I like it, so it's on to some light sanding here. Again, sanding on the lathe is really easy and it's fairly quick as long as your cuts are fairly smooth. I sanded here with a little bit of basically 120, and now I'm using a friction polish. My prior video, I had a commenter indicate that he was a little concerned about me using a full towel like I did last time, and I agree. Safety first. I was getting lazy on that one and hadn't bothered to cut it up, so went ahead and did that, and now I'm using just small pieces. So now we have that all set. Now it's time for some assembly. I previously turned a bunch of perches for the birds, so cut a piece of twine. Now it's just some hot melt glue into the recess of the roof so it can be attached to the body. Try to get it straight there. There, we got it. Hold that for a few seconds for that glue to start cooling and adhering. Looking good. Put a little bit of hot melt glue into the hole for the perch. Go ahead and find that there. There it is. Push that in. Make sure it's secure. Yeah, pretty good, I think, there. Gotta pick up that bird there. Trying to get it. Actually, I'm sorry. I was picking up the eye screw that goes into the top of this. They're pretty small. I had previously drilled a small hole and screwed that in. This is what will be used to hang it using a piece of twine that you can see there, a short piece. Get it to where I want it. Sometimes you gotta play around with it to get it so it hangs where you want. Sometimes I have to wet the end of the twine to get it through the eye screw as well. And sometimes you need to go to the other end. There we go. Now the knot I like to tie is a square knot. It's a fairly simple knot. It's just a right over left overhand knot, and then a left over right overhand knot, and then pull the tag ends equally, and it creates a square knot, and it will not slip. It is important to make sure you pull evenly to keep the square knot set. Now it's time to put the bird on the perch. A little bit more hot melt glue. Put that on the perch there. So you gotta hold it for a few seconds to make sure it stays on straight. Sometimes if you let go too soon, it'll start to tip over and fall off. Can't have that. Just about there, about ready. Let's check it out to make sure. Got those stringies from the hot melt glue. Let's take another look. Yeah, it looks pretty good, I think, but maybe just a little bit of an adjustment there. Hold it for another few seconds, and I think we're good. Let's hang it up.